Ha-ha! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Molly. Max, are you listening? Just Saturday. Don't try to prep. Don't try to. Are you ready? Are you sitting back? Just Saturday. Are you ready for what I'm about to bring your way? The top 5 teams in the National Football League, according to moi, at this particular moment in time. Let's go to number 5 on the list, y'all. Give it to me. The Tennessee Titans. Why? Did you see what they did to the Indianapolis Colts? Did you see what that brother Derrick Henry is doing? Have you noticed that when we talk about league MVP candidates, not to mention Offensive Player of the Year, he is in that conversation with Patrick Mahomes, whether you want to admit it or not. The best running back in football, a mountain of a man who continues to bring the rain. And as a result, the Tennessee Titans are 8-3 in first place in the AFC South. Just bum rush the Indianapolis Colts, and here they come. They're number 5 on my list. Let's go to number 4 on the list, please. Give it to me. The Seattle Seahawks. Why? I know they had a bye week this week, even though they played the Philadelphia Eagles last night. That's my equation of a bye week, considering how awful the Eagles look. But here's the bottom line. We know that Russell Wilson was an MVP candidate. We know that DK Metcalf is that dude, okay? Tyler Lockett is no scrub. Carson is back at the running back spot. And oh, by the way, the acquisition of Dunlap has improved their pass rush and their overall defense, along with Jamal Adams getting himself healthy as well. Seattle is no joke. They are a team to be reckoned with. They're the team in the NFC West. At this particular moment in time, they are clearly a top 5 team. They've got coaching, they've got the executives taking care of business, and they damn sure got the players on both sides of the ball. Seattle's at number 4. Let's go to number 3, please, on the list. Give it to me. The New Orleans Saints. We all know what time it is here. Even without Drew Brees, Taysom Hill brings a different equation, a different element to the equation. He can run with the football in ways that Drew Brees never dreamed about doing. Obviously, their defense is nothing to sneeze at. You still have Alvin Kamara, Emmanuel Sanders, of course, Michael Thomas. Max Kellerman pointed all of this out, so he can't argue with that point. The Saints are a top 3 team in the NFL because they're one of the more well-balanced teams in the NFL. Even without Drew Brees, they're still winning football games. Let's go to number 2 on the list, please. Give it to me. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we haven't seen them yet this week. Game been postponed from Thursday to Saturday, now Sunday to Tuesday. Now it's been moved to Wednesday. I mean, it's just an absolute mess. They're still undefeated, though. We understand that. But they've been in a lot of tough games this year. They're tough games, even though they've ended up unblemished, undefeated, and they're elite because they're 10-0. And we understand Big Ben looks great. The bottom line is they've got to be number 2 because they don't look like this team. Number 1 on the list, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. We can act like the game was close all we want to, and it was when they played Tampa and beat Tampa 27-24. All right, Tampa pulls within 27-24 with 4 minutes left. But we saw that first quarter. We saw Tyreek Hill catch 203 yards along with 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. We saw Patrick Mahomes throw for 359 yards in the first half. We see how potent this offense is. They just seem to be toying with people. They seem on a level all by themselves right now. That's why even with 1 loss, 1 blemish to the Las Vegas Raiders this season, I've got to give credit where credit is due based on the eye test. Now, I don't have these Beetlejuice eyes like Max Kellerman does, but I can still see, even without my glasses, the Chiefs are number 1. The Steelers are number 2. The Saints are number 3. The Seahawks are number 4. And the Tennessee Titans are number 5 on the list. Yes, I left off Green Bay because I can right now. A running game matters to me. I'm going to give the Tennessee Titans love. I'm going with them as my top 5.
Yeah, and Green Bay, the Titans just beat a team that Green Bay lost to recently. Stephen A., that is a Stevens A-list. 5 out of 5 in the right order. I got nothing more to say.
Oh.
Look at his face.
Max. Oh, my gosh. Max, what happened? Listen, I think the whole L thing from Orlovsky made you soft, bro. Like, all of a sudden, you're feeling like kumbaya. What happened to you, bro? Like, are you for real right now?
Got it right.
No, listen.
What's wrong with my list, Jeff?
First
What's
time
wrong
all
with
year, you
my
got
list?
it right.
Listen, the
Max is
Steelers
trying to be
don't
nice
play and they drop in the poll. They don't even play a game, and they drop. They're the only undefeated team in the NFL and Stephen A's favorite team in the NFL, and he can't keep them at number 1 2 weeks in a row because the league pushes their game out? Absolutely not. Listen, if the Raiders beat the Chiefs in a tight game, they played them close twice, and all of a sudden, like the Chiefs, we think they can't lose a game? We have a team who hasn't lost a game, whose defense has played lights out, whose Ben Roethlisberger has put them back where they need to be. I don't see how you take a team down. That's as crazy as it sounds. And then to leave Green Bay off and put the – you said they had a bye week. How can you not put the Packers up there? They torched one of the best defenses in the league. It made it look like they were playing a high school team. Their coach, dang near, he's begging people to play hard so they don't all lose their job, and we're not going to put Green Bay in the top 5 in the NFL? I mean, Stephen A., this is not your A-list. I don't care what Max. I'm telling you, Dan done got to Max. This is no way this is an A-list, man.
This is an A-list, Jeff. This is an A-list.
You best
This is an A-list, Jeff.
You back, man. You back on the struggle bus.
Wait a minute. No, I'm not back on the struggle bus. You are wrong. You are wrong. First of all, if I'm Green Bay, what do I have to worry about going up against Chicago? You pointed it out. You got the coach. What coach gives a motivational speech by saying, if I get fired, y'all gonna get fired too? Really? Really? In the National Football League? I mean, you got to be kidding me. Don't give me him. He can't even pick a quarterback for crying out loud. And this dude is supposed to have an offensive background. Don't give me Chicago. And in terms of the Tennessee Titans, we just gonna sniff at what we saw them do to the Indianapolis Colts who had beaten the Packers a week before. We just gonna ignore that? Come on, Jeff Saturday.
No.
You can't. And then last but not least, with the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm not punishing the Steelers. I'm just saying I'm seeing a little something different from the Kansas City Chiefs. They seem to be just toying with people, man. I got that. I can do that. No. You can do that.
Toying, the game, they ended up playing a tight game at the end because they took their foot off the gas pedal.
Lord.
What are you talking about toying with them? Like
they
had them in man. All of a sudden they're eating them up in the first quarter. Made some adjustments, and all of a sudden Tampa Bay, who couldn't score on anybody on the Rams a week before, are coming back and making the game. Nah, Stephen A. You better give the Steelers some respect, man. That undefeated team, you got to give them respect. You can't send them down.
You know who you sound like? You know who you sound like?
Hey,
you know who you sound like, Jeff?
I do not like the Seahawks without Green Bay.
Do you know who you sound like? You know who you sound like?
Who's that?
You sound like LeBron James and his crew. That's who you sound like. Being number 2 in the world. Oh, what an insult. What an insult. I've disrespected the Steelers because I got them number 2 in the entire NFL to Patrick Mahomes. That's being disrespectful. That's like LeBron.
Yes.
Oh, my God. LeBron, you're on the Mount Rushmore. You're on the Mount Rushmore. You're the second greatest player in the history of basketball. My God, what an insult.
No.
I mean, you should... I'm stabbing you in the chest by saying something like that. You got to be kidding me, man. Just stop it.
You have confused yourself. This isn't Mount Rushmore. This is every week that you make a big production about this is 1 week at a time. I can make my decision 1 week at a time. This is what I'm going to do. This ain't a Rushmore.
It's 1 week at a time.
This is a team that's still undefeated.
It's 1 week at a time.
And you moved them down. You moved them down in a week. They didn't even lose a game.
Hey, listen.
No, that's not Mount Rushmore.
I still had questions about how they looked when I had them at number 1. But I saw Kansas City struggle against the Raiders, and then they came back and toyed with the Bucs.
B-list.
Come on, man. I disagree with you, Jeff.
B-list. Back again.
Whoa.
B-list.
Did you B? How dare you? The blasphemy. The blasphemy for you to say something like that.
I'll give you a B+.
What? The B list? I don't do B list.
This was the best part of my day. This is the most exciting thing that's happened to me all
Jeff,
day, maybe all week. I'll leave you with this.
Hey, Molly.
Oh, go ahead, Max.
Molly, I appreciate Jeff's pointing out Stephen A's inconsistency in dropping the Steelers before they've even played. Good point, Jeff. I'm just talking about the order he has these in right now. Forget about what came before. That's perfect. Maybe you could argue Packers over Titans at 5, but I think given who the Titans just beat, that list is